Hello. Hello again. So, just to make it clear for myself as well, that these videos are for me, okay? Because I like to go and rewatch them myself. Because it makes me feel, I don't know, it makes me so glad to see my awareness. And I rewatched my old video and I made myself cry. But yeah, but just to reiterate, these videos are for me, and because they are for me, they're for me. But I hope it resonates to someone out there as well, because it's always nice when that happens. Okay, so follow me through this journey. Okay, I have a presentation, and I want you to follow me to this journey of getting to see the puzzle pieces I've acquired that come to form the full picture that is my consciousness. Okay? And this video is titled What is Safety? What is Significance? What is Soma? Okay? And after we end the presentation, I think it's going to be more clear how all those things come together for me. Mm-hmm. Okay? Okay. Let's see. So okay. So you should see only the presentation and not me, and that's okay. So this is the child spirit deity self is a healing experience. Now, what does that mean, you may ask? Well, just follow me through this journey. And like I said before, these are puzzle pieces, unorganized puzzle pieces that will come together. Okay? Okay. Okay, first piece. First puzzle piece. Um, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels which are in heaven. Okay? Now, I'll play a video from this trans historian. Okay. So just give me 1 minute. While I find that minute. It's two. Oh, it's 50:49. Okay.
Let's look at the evidence. Eunuchs aren't fit to marry. People who are eunuchs are neither men nor women, but something else altogether. People in heaven can neither marry nor be married. People in heaven are like the angels. The angels don't have any gender. The angels look like wheels with eyes all over them. What does all this say to you? Because to me, it says that when we attain the kingdom of heaven, we're not going to have any genders. We're all just going to be non-binary angelic spiritual beings floating about the cosmos. In fact, we'll transcend the very concept of gender in the first place, leaving terrestrial matters behind. We'll transcend our genders. We'll trans our genders.
Okay, that's one puzzle piece. Okay? And I think y'all should know what eunuchs are. Eunuchs. Yeah. I think, yeah, it's very easy to search in the dictionary or in Google what that is. But yeah, I think most people know what that means. I would hope. Okay, let's move to uh, the other puzzle piece. Okay? The legitimized marriage focus on care and love, not marriage. make heaven on earth. That's what I wrote. Okay? I survived the cishet process of socialization. My brother said to me, quote, "Since we were little, you haven't changed." And that's interesting. Now, the next slide is like a ramble, so I'll just skip that because it doesn't have a lot of information, I think. Yeah. Okay, let's move to this puzzle piece. Oh shit. That's a hot take, but I'll just move forward. This is an Instagram post from a Instagram account I follow. And yeah, I like what they say. Love is an expansive and multidimensional concept, and we must extend our conception of it beyond the interpersonal, as this constrains our ability to see the ways that love transcends the individual. There exists a form of communal love that characterizes every liberation struggle / revolution. It is because we love each other that we want to see each other housed, clothed, fed, and freed from oppression. This is the sense of love that underscores collective action. Yay! That's a puzzle piece. And this is another puzzle piece. And this is a person that I admire a lot. She's a trans woman named Gina Rosero, a Filipina trans woman. Okay? And she has this to say: even more concerned about the spiritual essence that drives someone to get to the next day. And you see this? These are the light inside my neurons. Okay? And you're going to see that that is a puzzle piece more clear as we go through that presentation. Okay? But let's hear her say this. Okay, first. And it's 36, 42. Um,
But I think I'm even more concerned about the spiritual essence that drives someone to get to the next day.
yes. And this is an anime that I love to watch. But I just when this scene occurred, like I guess the sentimental emotional scene, um, these little lights remind me of the lights inside my neurons. Okay, okay. So let's continue. Another puzzle piece.
A childhood cancer survivor, I've always been a spiritual person since I've had to look for it since a young age. I would try to find it in God and Hinduism and the things my parents were pushing on me, but that never worked for me. I started looking for it in transness and relationships, and that's what this song is about, looking for it in different places.
Now, why did I? That's a puzzle piece. Now, how specific this coincidence is? Gonna listen to it now. The spirituality found in transness has always felt so known and unknown at the same time. Look. And that resonates so much. And that will come clear as we move through this presentation. Okay, let's zoom in. Oh shit. Okay, just give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm in a WhatsApp group. And yeah, and someone posted this and I thought it was very funny. God is dead and been replaced by trans people. And it's a WhatsApp group for trans people. Like I said in my previous video, I live in a Spanish-speaking country. So yeah, and someone wrote, "Felicidades a todos," meaning like congratulations to anyone. We did it. We killed God. Yay! and I blocked the phone numbers for privacy purposes. But I thought it was so funny that I wrote LMAO jazz. Yes! God equals MB icon, meaning non-binary icon. And I'm like, period. And you're going to see why as we move through the presentation. Okay. Okay. Let's see what comes after. Oh, this is a good one. I wrote this myself. To heal, you have to look at your life story and as a creative child spirit deity self that you are, pick the child spirit parts from your past and bring those feelings into a new context. And you have to go through, and it's necessary that you go through a grieving process to understand how your child spirit / deity self was failed and neglected, left to fend for themselves and be rebirthed. And then I wrote, I think my child spirit memories and my feelings can be medicine for someone else. I think that images I create can be spiritual medicine for someone else. And that's just something I wrote. That's another puzzle piece. And as we move forward, like I said before, there are going to be more puzzle pieces that make the picture clear to me. And I hope it makes the picture clear for someone else as well that resonates. Okay. Okay, this video has been privatized, unfortunately. 200. Oh. Here. Yeah, it's still privatized, damn it. But it was a video by a trans elder named Marty Pants. And she was talking about a story about her friend, in the late 80s. And she was talking about a friend that, what do I want to say? Oh yeah, I was thinking that maybe I should bring up the camera again just so you can see my face. Hello. Yeah, but yeah, she was talking about a friend of hers in the late 80s. She was not trans, I think. I don't remember from the video. But okay, now that you see my face, let's go back to the presentation. Oops. Okay, but she had this friend, and she was like addicted to drugs, I think. And then she was she was, or I think I have an idea. Wait a second. Hello. Yay, this works as well. Just so you can see my face once in a while, Okay. But she was talking about this friend that she had, and she was addicted to drugs, I think. A drug that made her see things, And I remember a part of the video that, she was like, I remember this part. She was like talking about what her friend was saying. Her friend was saying like, I was seeing all these colors and all these pretty voices and blah, 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 blah. And then I followed the most beautiful color and it was God. And she said, Nina, you have to keep up that trip there. This one. She said, Nina, you have to keep up that trip there. And she asked, yeah, I know, but how? Her higher self said that. And she's like, yeah, I know, but how? And God said, you must die. And so I did. Her higher self said that. God said it, I guess. You must die. So I did. And then Marty Pons was like, in the video was like, she said this, she was like, phew. You know, she said that she planted the seed of recovery into me. You know? This video is for me, okay? It makes sense to me. Just a reminder that this is for me. And for anyone that resonates, okay? But yeah, that I want to read it. I want to reenact it again. I was seeing these colors, these pretty colors, and then I followed the most prettiest color, and it was God. And they said, Nina, you have to give up that. You have to give up that trip there. And she was like, yeah, I know, but how? And they say, you must die. And so I did. Her higher self said that. She said, you must die. So I did. Okay. That's a puzzle piece. A puzzle piece. Okay. And she also said that, okay, now I'm going to remove the camera. Good night for now, but you'll still hear my voice. Okay. And she also said this in a video, in an interview. So I think it's so important to work on, I would like to say, spirit. And I agree. Okay, let's find the times. And let's hear her say this.
Is so important to work on. I would like to say spirit.
A puzzle piece. Okay, now let's go to another puzzle piece. Okay? This is, oh, my legs. I'm stretching my legs. Okay. So this is another puzzle piece. And this is said by a trans woman filmmaker. Oh my god. I don't remember her name, sorry. It was, I don't know, but I remember she was also a music producer and a filmmaker. So yeah, she's very cool. A trans woman. And let's hear her say this. You have to satisfy your soul.
You have to satisfy your soul.
Yes. A puzzle piece. Okay, let's go to the other puzzle piece. This is a learning moment for those of you who don't know. But I learned it before, so I know about this, but if you don't know. So this is the, well, I'll just read it. So this is the Hijron Kankah. It's an Islamic monument located in Mehrauli, South Delhi, India. The literal meaning of Hijron Kankah is a Sufi spiritual retreat for eunuchs. Remember that we used the word eunuch in the start of the presentation? Yeah, it appears again with the word hijron, plural of hijra, more widely referring to a specific community of third/non-binary gender trans-feminine people throughout the Indian subcontinent. Hidron Kankar is a pre-Mughal Lodi period monument dated to the 15th century, known for the serene atmosphere that exists at the monument where some Hijras of Delhi were buried during the Lodi dynasty's reign. It is also said that Hijras of Turkmen Gate, who own this monument, now visit the place on religious days to distribute food to the poor. Yes! You better distribute food to the poor! Because everyone deserves their basic needs met. And Kankah is a Persian word. It connotes a religious edifice where Muslims of Sufi religious order assemble to achieve spiritual peace and character building. Okay, and I wrote this here. Character building, conscious self-creation. Yes, yes, yes. And this is another puzzle piece. Okay? Now let's go to another puzzle piece that will explain what I mean, specifically when I mean child spirit. That was in the first slide of the presentation. Okay? Okay, let's go here. And let's first hear this trans woman scholar talk about childhood. Okay? Okay. Here it is. Okay, I'll just let it play.
Is a child? When you think about it, what definitively is a child? Culturally, a lot of us view childhood as being a sacred, innocent moment in a person's life. Most of us have been children, and we think back on this time as a time of purity, innocence, joy. So it makes sense that we see children in this way too, as innocent little babies of God's love. But what does that mean in practice? How do we define a child? Well, legally, in many countries, a child is defined as anyone under the age of 18. That is the line that we have set. Anyone above is an adult, anyone below is a child. But there are obviously some grey areas. In some areas, for example, you are an adult, but you're not allowed to drink. In some areas, you're allowed to drive before you're allowed to vote. So many of us have already accepted that there is a sort of fluidity of childhood. And it should be said that the 18 years old is not a biological marker at all. It is purely an arbitrary choice. 18 is only the age of majority in the US because the Vietnam War drafted people as young as 18, at a time when the age of majority was actually 21. And due to outrage, the age was lowered, because if someone is old enough to die in a war, they're old enough to have political power, at least so went the argument. The stories for why 18 is the norm is unique for every country, but even this age is not a hard and fast rule. In some US states, you can only drink alcohol after you're 21, while in other states, you can get married as young as 14. The barrier of adulthood means basically nothing beyond what we decide it means. You could argue that a child is anyone who is not a fully developed adult, but in biological terms, that can go as long as the age of 25. That's because while the body finishes growing around the age of 19 or 20, the mind, the brain soup, continues to grow until you're 25. Which means I only recently became an adult, but almost all of us get to drink before then. vote, join the military, things that are seen as permanent life decisions. So we've already argued that a certain type of underdevelopment is okay. We are allowed to not be fully formed, but have agency. We'll come back to that one in a bit. Meanwhile, let's have a history lesson. Did you know for a long time in human history, the category of child didn't actually exist? It's actually as late as the 1600s when we as a society starts categorizing children as a separate social class from the rest of us. Before then, a lot of times children were just seen as immature adults who haven't learned how to be adults yet. Until the 17th century, people didn't really view childhood as a separate stage in life, one that you enter and one that you leave when you become an adult. But even before we saw child as a social category, people still understood that children are not the same as adults. They are not as mature, which has led cultures and societies to set arbitrary lines of where they think a child is mature enough to be an adult. And for a long time, that age was 12, right at the beginning of puberty. This was, for example, English common law, that children at the age of 12 were mature enough to understand the world around them to the extent where they could join the military, own houses and businesses, and go on out into the world as a fully formed adult. Sure, a child grows up to become an adult, but the phase of a child is seen as a purely transital one. But today, our view of children is different. Today we view children as innocent, requiring care and protection, up until the age of 18. And to be fair, a lot of people still describe themselves as children into their early or mid-20s. The reason for this change is primarily practical. A change in childhood mortality. For a long time in history, childhood mortality was extraordinarily high, which means you gotta have a ton of kids to make sure that at least some of them make it into adulthood. But that also meant that childhood was seen as a brutal survival, a trial of time and age and disease. And if you made it to an adult, chances were that you would probably live a long, healthy life. But a lot of children just died as kids. After the Industrial Revolution, though, people started having less kids because kids began to survive. Childhood mortality dropped. But then we also began to value those children more. And people started thinking, what does it mean to be a child? If childhood is no longer this grueling gauntlet of pain and suffering and survival, what is childhood? There have been many theories about what defines a child at this point. The philosopher John Locke especially has become very influential, describing what he called the tabula rasa, the blank slate of a child's mind. His theory was basically, a bit oversimplified, that a child is born into the world completely blank, and that we, as adults, have to imprint a good, wholesome individual upon this child. But this also meant that if the child was corrupted or damaged somehow during this innocent phase of childhood, when they are so vulnerable, that will damage them for life. And to be fair, there's something to be said for that. But this view also robs children of their agency. The idea that children have a mind of their own, that they are individuals.
I have a mind of my own. I have a mind of my own. Of my own. I have agency.
Individuals. That becomes lost. This does.
I'm an individual. I just love some of the quotes that she says. And yeah, I have a mind of my own. And I have my own agency.
Doesn't just.
Wait a second. Wait a second. That is a recording. I don't think so. You can still hear me? Yeah. So basically, the camera stopped recording, but the screen recorder is still recording, and you can still hear my voice because the mic is on. So I think we're good to go. I heard my dog sibling bark, and I thought that maybe my blood family members just arrived at the house, but I think they have not. So let's just continue. I think we're good. It must be good. Okay, let's continue. Okay.
Change children.
Or just give me 1 second while I see if that's the case. Okay? Just give me 1 second. Let's see. Okay. I'll just shut the audio here a little bit. Hello? Okay. I've arrived again. Okay. And I brought a banana since I went downstairs and I was in the kitchen, so let's just continue watching this video.
It also changes parenting, because parenting used to be to take care of a child and make sure that they become an adult. But if a child is a blank slate that can't think for itself, you, the parent,
I can think for myself. Ah! I always was able to think for myself. Okay.
now has to start thinking on their behalf. You have to start becoming their mind and their decision maker. Something that a lot of kids probably aren't super happy with. There's also more burden placed on individual parents. Historically, the nuclear family didn't exist. in the sense of two parents and a child. Children were often raised by the extended family and villagers around you. It wasn't just your parents who raised you, it was literally a village. And you could argue that this is fine, that parents should have the final say of their children no matter what. And
No, never. If they are bigots, no, never, never. If the parents are bigots, no.
And to a point, I would agree with you, but only to a point. A common argument against children receiving puberty blockers is the idea that children shouldn't be allowed to make
Okay, in the puberty blockers conversation, okay. Blah, 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 blah. But we already went through that portion, okay? And just so you know, yes, children can take puberty blockers, okay? I wish I knew about the existence of puberty blockers when I was young. I mean, I'm still young, but when I was younger, you know? Okay. Hello. Okay, let's see if this is still recording. The audio, just so, okay. Yes, I should be fine. Okay. I hope. I hope I don't have to record this video. Okay. So that was a puzzle piece. Let's continue. Let's learn about these people. Okay. So according to these people right here. Okay. According to the Masai tribal traditions, oh yikes, genital circumcision is often performed on both sexes as they reach their culture's maturity ages. I have my thoughts on, but this is about child spirituality itself, okay? But I think I can give a quick thought. Oh yeah. Cultural practices are not a justification. Culture is never a good justification for anything. Okay? Okay, but okay, let's continue. Their maturity ages. To the Masai young boys, the word circumcision, emorate, means the end of low status of boyhood and the entrance into the world of the warriors, Morans. Okay. And it's interesting. Moran, here is the etymology. And it's a noun and it means an unmarried. I highlighted unmarried. You know, because in one of the first slides of the presentation, I say that how the angels don't marry. Eunuchs don't marry. An unmarried Masai or Samburu warrior. And let's learn more. Warrior wearing, this is describing this picture. This information is describing this picture. Warrior wearing red ochre makeup and typical beads. He has long plaited hair and his face is painted with red ochre. Masai modern warrior portrait traditional. Yeah, this is to mark a difference. I think it's misspelled a little bit. To mark a difference between boys and the Morans. Between the ages of about 14 and 30. Young men are traditionally known as Moran. Warriorhood is an essential aspect of Masai culture. At the age of 14, young Masai men undergo rites of passage that include ritual circumcision. Like I said before, Yeah. Well, this is just a message. Um, Unconsensual circumcision is not okay. Okay? Just like unconsensual surgery on intersex babies is not okay. Culture never justifies anything, okay? Culture is never a justification for anything. Only knowledge, consciousness, and critical thinking are. Okay? Okay, let's proceed. The eight, okay, I already did that. Okay. And intense training to become warriors known as Morans, responsible for protecting their communities and cattle. The Moran period usually lasts for 15 years until the men are 30, and traditionally they remain single throughout this time. Using Western cultural terms to give perspective, it would be like an extended adolescence when they reach 30. Sorry, it was a banana. um, a further rite of passage marks the reaching of elder status, when a man may marry and take on a leadership role within their community. And yeah, I guess I wrote this as well. This was in one of the links I saw here, but this development of the Moran, I think, is categorized into three separate stages. I think early adolescent, like I guess using Western cultural terms to give perspective and make it make more sense. I think early adolescence, mid adolescence, and late adolescence. Like you know, but yeah, I just wanted to put this as well so we give a puzzle piece to give more perspective on how childhood is, how life stages are a cultural construct. Oh, and I wrote this here actually. This shows how life stages are social cultural constructs and not determined by biological reductionist processes. Processes. I think it's how you say it. Okay, so let's continue. Okay. Okay, let's go to that other puzzle piece. Hello again. Okay, so this is another trans woman, and I resonated with what she said in this Insta stories, and I want to share it with you because it resonated with me. But this video is for me, but I'm sharing it with you. And also because I like to revisit these videos as well, because it keeps me on track. It reminds me of myself. Okay, let's just go ahead. Let's just go ahead.
So then we have to kind of like be on guard sometimes, and we're like guarded creatures. It's just weird because I just feel like humans are meant to be like singing and dancing in a field and like drinking juice and like, I don't know, providing and like, I don't know. I just feel like how we're doing it right now is like a little off. Like, all people, like, as when we were like young, we like all loved singing and dancing. Like, I know we all did. That's why like all kids shows are like singing and dancing, because that's all we love. So why is it that after a certain age we don't love that anymore? Like, everybody still loves that. Duh. It's super simple to me. I feel like the world thinks it's chess. Like, everybody thinks it's chess. It's not chess. To me, it's checkers. Like, do you feel me? Am I crazy? I know I'm crazy, but it's checkers, not chess.
I have never played checkers though, so I don't know.
So then
I have never played checkers, so I don't know. The part of singing and dancing in the field and drinking juice, like, I love dancing and singing. Yeah, if you haven't noticed by how I sing in the middle of me talking. Okay, so that was the puzzle piece. Let's continue to the other puzzle piece. And actually, this is a video I edited. Like, I added the subtitles. But let's see it together. And actually, I know this video has high quality, so I'll just make sure it's high quality. Because it's really pretty.
Their favourite poison is found crawling in the forest. Like pufferfish, millipedes are toxic. But that doesn't stop the lemurs seeking them out. The millipedes use dangerous secretions, including cyanide, as a defence. But the lemurs still chew on them, albeit extremely cautiously. The toxins cause the lemurs to salivate. They then rub both the saliva and the millipede into their fur. They use it as an insecticide to ward off insects such as mosquitoes that carry malaria. But they are suspiciously enthusiastic about the whole process. It seems they don't just work as an insect repellent. The chemicals also appear to send them into a trance-like state. A condition of complete intoxication. Can't seem to get enough. When it's all over, there's no hiding the state they are in. Time to sleep it off.
Okay. Okay, okay, let's get out of here. Oh my god. Okay, I'll explain it. But I was just checking that my battery seems like it's about to die, but I don't know why it's not charging. So just give me 1 second. Mm. Okay, just give me 1 second. Hmm. Okay, just give me 1 second. Oh, I knew this video was going to be chaos. And I don't want to edit this video, so you'll have to deal with it. Okay, so I'll just turn up the volume while I sort this out. Okay. I found the problem. I found the solution, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, but I found it was the outlet, I think. Okay, I think I'll have to change place. Okay, whatever. I just give me 1 second. Give me multiple seconds, actually. Give me multiple seconds. Because I'm not asking for 1 second. But okay. Let's move this. I hope it doesn't stop. Okay, it's working. I see it working. Okay. But, okay, let's revisit. Oh, wait a minute. I guess you can hear me. Okay. Just making sure. Okay. Okay. So, let's stay there. Well, it's because it comes back to the other puzzle piece, like this one. Singing and dancing. Okay. It's because singing and dancing puts you in a state of mind. Okay? And being a non-binary child spirit deity self, it shouldn't be. It's a state of mind. And you enter states of mind when you dance and when you sing. Okay? Okay. I'm going to see how I look in the camera. Oh, you can see that bit. Oh, whatever. Well, whatever. We'll just continue. Hello. I'm back. Okay, so let's continue to the other puzzle piece. Oh, I actually wrote here. Through song, music, dance, art, imagining, and creating, we deities consciously put ourselves into, I guess you could say, a trance-like, because transgender, trance-like state, where the chemicals we release reveal we are consciousness. We are consciousness. I'm not a woman. I'm not a man. I am consciousness. Okay? The child spirit deity self is a state of feeling certain emotions. Those emotions being chemicals, therefore a state of feeling. I wouldn't call it a trance because a trance is to say it is an abnormal way of feeling that deviates from the default way of feeling. The child spirit deity self is the default, but sometimes it isn't the way of feeling all the time because of the fault and intervention of cishet, normative, ageist, hierarchical, pathologizing, psychological psychiatrist, racial capitalist culture / society. Yeah, and I would add also biological reductionist as well. Actually, I should write it. Watch me write it. Biological reductionist. Oh my god, they have arrived. Damn it. I have to end it here. Okay, I have to.